at the UK premiere of Operation Mincemeat finally. How are you feeling right now?
Well, it's odd because it was another world, wasn't it? You know, when we finished this, it was more than 2.5 years ago, perhaps, when we started. And having this reunion, we haven't seen each other since, you know, the lost years. And so it's really thrilling to be back together.
It's going to be quite the party with you lot tonight then, isn't it?
I hope so.
So for audiences that obviously haven't seen it, who are you in this and what role do you play?
Well, I'm a spy, a rather brilliant spy, members of whose family are here tonight, which is quite sort of exciting for me, actually. I'm rather starstruck. No, this is a man who was a brilliant barrister, who found himself working with the intelligence services during the war and applying that extraordinary mind to these spy ruses, which are they're not normal, conventional, logical things. I mean, we learned that spycraft is sometimes to have ideas which are completely bonkers, because the more logical you are, the more people can guess what you're about, because you can decode logic. You can't really decode bonkers. So, you know, it was what Churchill called corkscrew thinking, and he was very good at that.
When did you first find out about this whole story?
Well, I didn't know very much about it, apart from a film that was made in the 50s called The Man Who Never Was, and I was enthralled to that when I was a small child. I was probably about 7 in the 60s, and it treated exactly the same subject. It had a different approach. I mean, this is not a remake of that. But I just found this idea of creating a human being who never existed and making him so real that it could possibly change the course of world events just completely fascinating.
What was your favourite part of filming?
I think it's the collaboration. It's one of the, you know, creative forms that is collaborative. You know, I would have loved to have been a writer or perhaps a composer or something, but it feels solitary to me. And I just love being around, you know, fellow professionals and bouncing ideas and just having that sort of social connection, really.
Kelly told me her favourite part of filming was watching yours and Matthew's bromance blossom.
Well, it's a love triangle, really. I mean, Matthew and I basically met on this film, and yes, we did sort of fall in love romantically. And Kelly is a very, very old friend. Penelope Wilton's a very old friend, and then there are all these extraordinary new people who became dear friends as well, including the late and much lamented Paul Ritter, James Fleet, Johnny Flynn, Jason Isaacs. You know, I mean, it was such a joy. I mean, Alex Jennings, who I had worked with briefly before, and John Madden, who's an old friend. So it was like having a family back together again.
So you and Matthew are now best friends forever, is that the same?
I think so. I think it's inevitable. We'll never get away from each other.
And what about your keeping secret ability? Are you any good?
Yes, I am actually. I mean, it's the only bit of spycraft I think I might be good at. I'm not clever enough really to be a spy, but I think I can keep a secret.
And talk to me through the worst thing and the hardest thing about filming this. Were there any challenges?
Well, there are always some challenges. I mean, given what real challenges are in the world, one's always a little bit embarrassed to say it. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy to get it right. It's not easy to simulate spontaneity when you're waiting for a long time and then repeating things. And you know, there are always things that go wrong on a film set, and but they're not the sharp end of the world's challenges. I think we always feel very lucky to be doing it.
And just finally, your roles that you've played are quite remarkable. Is this up there with one of your favourites that you've taken on?
Might be. I mean, I really admire this man that I'm playing, and I think it's a very exciting and very unusual story. So yeah, I think this is one I will cherish.